It was a really bad time for me. I was having panic attacks and everything because I was this ill, hallucinating, throwing up. It wasn't fun. And I had a night terror, and this was the most terrifying night terror I've ever had. Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, as you can see from the title, my night terrors and how it's affected me, my family, the extremes they can go to, because sometimes they're not that bad, sometimes they are pretty dangerous to me and my family. I'm also going to try and talk to you guys about when they started, why I think they started, if I feel comfortable talking about that, and things that I do to help them. Some of them aren't that extreme and I just scream a little bit and it's fine. Sometimes I say things or do things that are weird and funny and I actually laugh during them, and some of them are just terrifying and scary and uncomfortable and they leave me awake for the whole entire night because they are that scary. So my experience of night terrors is that I remember everything. So imagine it's like someone sleep talking and sleepwalking, but they remember everything. And it's like you're in a state where you are awake, you're aware of your surroundings, but a part of your brain is in the dream or in the sleep state still. So part of your brain is still sleeping and the rest of you is awake. So you see everything that's going on in the real life, but sometimes you can hallucinate and have visions over it. Sometimes you have memories that you have never experienced, but in your dream you have, and when you're asleep you have this memory, and that carries on from when you are asleep to when you are awake. So you have memories. Sometimes you don't even know who you are. I've woken up and not known who the hell I am, and I've looked in the mirror and I've said, I've run into my room, I know who my mum is, and I run into her room and I'm like, I don't know who I am, I don't know who I am, and that freaked me out and that kept me up for a very long time. I thought I looked completely different, and it's a really weird out-of-body experience. Sometimes I see myself running, and that is a really weird concept to wrap your head around if you've never experienced them. And yeah, they're just really, really weird and real to me. It's like I am not the Jo that's just woken up from sleep, I'm Jo that has just been attacked by something and the world is a whole different place. There's probably an apocalypse going on. I have a lot of an apocalyptic dreams and a lot of apocalyptic night terrors and a lot of murder going on. Not fun, obviously. I started having these night terrors when I was about 9 or 10. I can't quite figure out where I was or anything, and the first one that I've ever had was Fred and George from Harry Potter in my bedroom trying to kill me because they have been cursed. And that was the most terrifying experience for me. It's not the most terrifying one I've had, I'll get to that in a moment, but it's just weird. Like, where did that come from in my head? I love Harry Potter, so that's probably why. But it was just such a surreal experience for me, and when I was young, because I was in primary school, I never knew how to explain it to someone. I never knew how to say, oh, it's like sleep talking, but you're awake and you remember it, and they're like, oh, how can you remember it if you're asleep? And it's like, I don't know, it's really weird. And I think the reason I started having these was due to high levels of stress. I'm not going to say what to do with. I had a lot of family issues going on at that time. Going through puberty, starting puberty, SATs maybe, you know, when you're little it's not a big deal now thinking back on it, but when you're little it's a really big deal. Going to a new school, going to high school, because I was in year 6 when these started happening. And I think all these changes and all these emotions I sort of put to the back of my head, put to the back of my mind, and this is the way that my brain expresses them now. So I've always struggled expressing my emotions and saying how I feel unless it's on camera. I don't really talk to people that much. I'm not an outgoing person, which is weird because you may say, but you make all these videos and you're happy to talk to a camera. Yeah, but a camera's not a person, so that's why. But that's a whole other different story. Obviously, the first thing that my mum thought of to help me was to go see a counsellor, a therapist, all of these doctors, amazing doctors who are trained to try and figure out what's going on. They said, yes, these are night terrors, but she should grow out of them, which I kind of have. I haven't had a night terror in about a month or so. I think the last one I had, I couldn't remember. I can't remember doing it. My boyfriend just said I had a night terror because he was sleeping over, and that's great for me because I always remember having a night terror, and the fact that I don't remember it means that I can't get scared of it, and it's a really big forward thing for me because it means that I can hopefully, if I have a night terror, it may keep other people up, but it's not going to keep me up. It means I can get a full night's sleep if I do have a night terror, which is great for me. Fingers crossed that they are simmering down. And I think not just because I'm getting older, but I think it's also to do with the fact that I'm learning how to cope with my emotions better. I have had apps over the years to deal with my emotions, to make notes, journal on them, speak to people about them, be more open on them, and have a better nighttime routine, which I might do a video on. If you want to see that, let me know and I'll whack one in somewhere someday, I don't know. But they've always said that they get better, and for a very long time it never did. Some days it would be not so bad, I'd scream a little bit and then be fine and then just go, oh, I was having a night terror, and go back to bed. I know that I'm having a night terror very quickly, and some days, even now, I don't have them often now, but if I did, sometimes they can last as long as what they used to when I was younger, and they keep me up all night, which is a pain, especially now that I'm in college, and I have been. This is my last year in college, and it's the most stressful year because I don't know what I want to do. Well, I do know what I want to do, but it's that step of moving forward, and I think that's going to cause me another phase of night terrors because I'm going on to a new chapter in my life, and I fear that they're going to get worse again. One funny story that I remember is when I woke up, and on my wall over there where that mirror is, I saw a leprechaun, a 2D image or video of a leprechaun on my wall painting a rainbow, and the rainbow was missing the colour red. So I was pissed about this. I was like, excuse me, Mr. Leprechaun, but you're missing a colour on the rainbow. And he was, I don't know if to do the accent, I'm not going to do the accent, but he was basically like, he had a very strong Irish accent, very stereotypical Irish accent, and he was like, what are you on about? Rainbows don't have the colour red. And I remember someone coming into my room, a real person, like who was actually awake at the time, come into my room and saying, Joe, you alright? And I'm like, yeah, this leprechaun. And I turned around and the leprechaun had gone, and I was like, oh, night terror, right, I'm going to bed. And that was a really weird, funny moment that I'll always remember. Another one is when I shared a room with my sister in here, and we have bunk beds over there, and my little sister was on the bottom bunk, I was on the top bunk, and I got down from the ladder, looked to my sister to see if she was awake, and she wasn't. She was asleep. She kind of stirred a little bit that I got up, and I looked at her and I said, you awake, Katie? And she was like, what? And then I looked down at where her feet were. I imagined that there was this kind of like a shoebox but more square, and the lid was off, and inside were spiders and they were trying to get out. Come in! Hi! Where are you? Come this side. Do you remember any night terrors that I've had?
A lot of them, yeah.
Do you remember? Come closer, come closer. Come talk to the people about night terrors that I've had. Come this side.
Hi.
Right, talk to them about a night terror that you remember me having.
I remember sort of a funny one where you woke up and you and Michael both started screaming like, ah,
oh,
Joe,
yeah,
ah,
yeah.
Michael.
That was a recent one. I'm telling them about the one that you might not remember, where we both shared a bunk bed in here. I was laughing at it and I was trying to get you to look at the box of spiders, but you were still asleep.
Don't remember that.
No, you weren't. You were half asleep. You were just
I
like,
remember
what?
one where you were pretty much in just shorts and underwear and you tried to get out the house?
No, I was naked.
Oh.
I was naked. I wasn't wearing any clothes. I remember that one because I was ill.
And because you were ill, it was a bit more vivid.
Mhm.
So you ran downstairs, and it was only when you got to the bottom of the stairs and Mum realised what was happening.
And I was at the front door. It was locked. It was 7 in the morning, and I was pulling at it trying to get out because this
You're
was
like my school alarm.
Yeah, this was in the half term, I think, before work experience or just after work experience, and I was really ill. And then had a fever. I took all my clothes off. Sorry, too much information. TMI.
TMI, Joe.
TMI. But I was completely butt naked in bed, it was a really bad time for me. I was having panic attacks and everything because I was this ill, hallucinating, throwing up. It wasn't fun. And I had a night terror, and this was the most terrifying night terror I've ever had.
I can't remember what you saw, really.
It was a black cloud, and it was trying to...
A black cloud?
A black cloud. Well, it's like smoke, and it was taking over the whole house and killing everyone. You guys were already dead.
It was like a black gas.
Yeah.
I think you remember telling me that there was some type of gas in the house.
Yeah, and it was killing everyone, so I ran out, and I tried unlocking the door. This was 7 in the morning, people were probably getting up for work, not school because it was half term, maybe nursery, and I was pulling at the door, and I remember my hand being so sore from trying to unlock the door that it was like a massive dent across my hand, and it hurt and it ached, and I pulled a muscle in my arm. I've injured myself so many times having night terrors, and probably injured other people as well.
I remember when you had one and you ran into the hallway and Mum was already trying to knock some sense into you.
Yeah.
And you punched my dad in the nose.
Yeah, I punched your dad. I uppercut your dad. I kicked my mum because I thought they were zombies.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were zombies. And
I watched The Walking Dead that night as well.
I love The Walking Dead, and I can't wait. It's coming back on tonight! Yes! Sometimes they can get pretty dangerous, and one time I remember, I still feel guilty to this. I ran downstairs, and this isn't the bit that I feel guilty about because, it's me, I'm not bothered about hitting me. And I fractured my foot because I kept kicking the wall because I thought something was there. I saw something, and it was like, do you remember Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, where, I'm pretty sure it's Voldemort under a dead, like a little fetus underneath the chair. It looked like that, and it was going to kill my family. It was kind of talking, it was going to go, I'm killing everyone, and it was like, I'm going to kill your mom.
Did you watch Harry Potter that night?
No. That's the weird thing, I remember things as well years ago that just pop up randomly, and I think, I haven't seen that in ages, why is that bothering me now?
Oh, told him about the one where Chloe was sleeping in here.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. And I kept kicking the door, the door frame, a solid wood door frame, and the only thing that woke me up, because Mum didn't get to me yet, the only thing that woke me up properly was that I felt my foot burn. It was like my foot was so hot and burning because of all the pain. I grazed my foot, it swelled up, and it was purple, and it was horrible. It's the most agonising pain I've ever felt in my life. And Mum came down and was like, you're alright. And I was like, no, my foot is killing. I whacked my arm on that chest of drawers there, really hard, to the point where I couldn't move my arm any higher than this. That was a recent one, a few months ago. Kicked my dog, who unfortunately isn't with us now. Not because I kicked him, because he was getting old. But about a year ago, I kicked him across the room.
Yeah, I remember him yelping really loudly.
It was horrible.
And I ran downstairs. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh, baby.
And I still feel guilty about it to this day. But I know it's not my fault. I've tried controlling it. I'm better at controlling it now. I've scratched my boyfriend, and he's gone into college with cuts on his hand because I've scratched him with my nails. And when my friend Chloe, as Katie said, used to live here until she was trying to find her own place, my mum let her stay here, and I kept punching her in the head because I thought someone posing as Chloe and was going to kill Chloe and had killed Chloe, so I was really angry and upset and scared that my friend was going to die that I started punching actual Chloe in the head really, really hard. Luckily, she was half asleep. She was like, what the fuck is going on? And she was like, you alright? And I'm like, oh my god, I punched you, I'm so sorry. And I started crying.
I remember waking up and Chloe was, you were sat in the corner crying and Chloe was like, hey, Joe,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Mm-hmm. And I freaked her out. I freaked her out one time as well because I shut up.
Shut up.
I sat up so quick in my
I didn't know
bed.
that was possible.
I sat up so quick in my bed and looked at my door and said, someone's there. There wasn't. Nobody was there. And Chloe freaked out. She was like,
me.
What? And she didn't really... She knew about my night terrors, but she got really scared as well. And that was another thing. But I have, like I've hurt Chloe, I've hurt other people before, punched my mum, almost pushed you down the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so I think that's all I have to say about my night terrors. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks guys for bearing with this video. Thanks Katie for joining me on this
No
video.
problem.
And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.